So now everything has been done except for the final coat. So just before the final coat, we want to slightly rub it down a little bit, just to denib it and to key for the next coat. What you might find if you're at this stage is that the floor's like quite rough. The water in the lacquer raises the grain slightly, makes it slightly rough. So by rubbing it back with with about a 120 or 150 grit abrasive, you're just smoothing it back off again, keying it so the next coat can properly grab hold. You can use a buffer, and that's what we normally do. We have a buffing machine, and we put these sanding screens 150 grit underneath it and just buff the whole thing. But since I'm trying to do this with the things that you can get from the hire shop, they didn't have a buffing machine, so I'm just going to do it by hand. When I first started floor sanding, that's all we did, is we rubbed it down with by hand. So and eventually we got a pole sander that you use to sand walls, and then one day we actually treated ourselves to a buffer. So I'm just going to rub this down, hoover it and tack mop it again, try and make sure it's nice and clean, and then we're going to put the final coat on. So you want to do a good few boards at a time, maybe 5 boards. Well, yeah, just don't make it so you're having to reach too far, make it difficult for yourself. As usual, you want to be trying to go with the grain as much as possible. If you've got a parquet floor, then you kind of just want to do it in circles, is what I found was the best thing to do. It's amazing how much just a light rub down can actually smooth it off when it can feel so rough. It's because it's a 150 grit that it doesn't go through the lacquer, it's just taking the peaks off. If I was using something more coarse, then you're really running the risk of going through the lacquer. done. It was only a couple of years ago that I realised how crucial it is to tack knot like this if you want to get a clean coat. Unfortunately, it's impossible to get a completely clean coat. You can correct imperfections afterwards though. So, about to put the last coat down. It's going to be pretty much the same as it was before. Again, you've always got to make sure that you've thoroughly shaken for at least 30 seconds. You've got a full can, it might be a bit heavy to go like this. And really, apparently, you're supposed to leave it for at least 10 minutes or something before you start laying it down, but here we go. pour down extra when you're loading up a new roller. Gone.